Sacramento Gang Archives here, and today we're here to talk about Marcus Gray, aka Trap the Barber, and why he went from having a promising future to being fat and having to eat that goulash. Now, Marcus, aka Trap the Barber, he is from East Sacramento, and he used to affiliate with Sub Tay and the Trap Team members out in Highlands back in the day. But he is from Trigger Mob, and he is also from Meadowview, if that makes sense. Now, in Sacramento, you guys tell me if you've ever seen a video of someone getting put on. Because why? You don't have to get fucking put on. You can put your fucking self on. Now, guys, one thing about Sacramento is it's a suburb to every hood. So if your mother or father had a little bit of money and you ended up in those suburbs, it's something called a snapback era. And Trap was from the hood, but he dwindled in the suburbs a little bit. And he was a part of that snapback era. And that kind of took away from his gangster. Now, if you never heard of him, you guys always know I'm not going to post no one that's not worth posting. So just pay attention to this video. But Trap is Little Trap. And he is a little homie to Big Trap. And Big Trap has a daughter with BT's little sister.
Got a bunch of chain, my neck is every crack. When I flip the streets, they have a powder shower. Know the recipe, you need
Sucking niggas on this side, cause we know the slide on the snitch, nigga. Trying to flex won't get you shit but a body bag or a toe tag. I'm paranoid, so run up on me, I'ma feed a nigga that whole mad.
And as you can see, Trap is right here with the Sub Gang Coons. But remember, guys, Sub Gang wasn't real gangsters. They were some young street punks, and only a few shooters came out of that whole situation because they branched off and started fucking with bigger name coons. Now, Trap was a part of that, and that explains for itself. He was a snapback coon. Ha! Now, something that Trap the Barber had that most coons didn't have and never will have and don't even know how to pronounce the fucking word, and that's a damn daddy. Trap had a father who was a known barber who had real skills in cutting hair. Now, Trap's dad did exactly what a father was supposed to do to his son, and he taught him what he knew, and that's why Trap was known as a fucking barber. Trap was cutting hair in high school, and it's a picture I came across once again that I can't find, but it was a picture in the back of Monterey Trails High School behind the multi-purpose door of him cutting hair, guys. He was cutting hair in high school, hanging with those young coons in the East. Landed Trap a gun charge, and then after that, landed him a burglary charge. And in jail, that's where he got more acquainted with the coons, because in jail, you can cut hair, and that's exactly what he was doing. Now, Stevie Wonder can see that in jail is where he got connected with all the coons, and he became the coonified South Sac Iraq barber. And in my opinion, that's where his dad began to lose his son. Bah! Now, Trap called himself getting out and getting focused and getting into a shop, but where he fucked up at is trying to be the world-renowned hood barber, because he got acquainted with coons that he would never have came across if he was never being a barber. And that led to him smoking with them, and, he built relationships with these coons. And that's when he became the gangster of all gangsters. Oh yeah, not to mention, his big homie Trap treated him like shit, from what I was told. And he was more so acquainted with the young generation of coons on some friendly type stuff. He was rapping with Grego, and, he was just a cool person. Where he went wrong is trying to be a gangster. Also, the guy who was with Lonnie the night he got killed, he has a son, and Trap was playing stepdad to that man's son. And we all know that they are ops to each other, but the mother is beautiful. And my point is, Trap had the life. He had the beautiful girl, and he had the money, and he had, the clientele. He was supposed to branch off and do his own thing and be a celebrity barber, not a world-renowned coon barber. Now, as I was making this video, I came across the picture that he was cutting hair in high school, guys. And whatever happened, something happened to where Trap was doing really good cutting hair. And if he was doing stuff on the side, I don't know. Because he was in Hawaii with the original BAY member, Big Pop. And we all know he's in Hawaii getting a lot of money, guys. But when he came back, Trap just wasn't the same, kind of. He was still cutting hair, but he was, honestly, too deep in that gangster shit. Now, history repeats itself, always, guys, especially in the motherfucking streets, in the trenches. Trap lost his girl, and he started doing bad, and he ended up living with someone by the name of Swerve. Now, Swerve was a motherfucker that was a part of that snapback era too, but somehow he was accepted in the Valley High area, and he's from a different city or state, but he came out here young, and he started banging Valley High, and I guess Trap ended up living with him when Trap started doing bad.
Like me! I thought you ain't like me! Get off my
What Swerve did was take Trap in when Trap had nowhere to go. And he opened his doors and welcomed Trap with, open arms. And Trap basically was taking advantage of Swerve and disrespecting him in his own house. And finally, Swerve had enough and he beat the fuck out of Trap. And his brother got wind of the situation and he also beat the fuck out of Trap and kicked Trap the fuck out. Now, Swerve is a goofball. He will not shoot you, but he will gladly, kindly beat the fuck out you. So that's exactly what happened with Trap. And they had kicked him out, like I said, and about a week later, Trap made a status on Facebook saying that I can finally see out of my eye. And what did he do? He went to go link up with his fellow coon from Gas Gutter, and his name is Vinny, OTG Vinny. And what they did was pulled up to the house that he was living at with Swerve. And it was a get-together, a small get-together in the backyard of these small-ass apartments. And Trap got out the car and let off a Glock with a fully switch and shot that motherfucker the fuck up. And ended up hitting Swerve in his back, his arm, and his stomach. And he was shooting his little niece, and his niece almost got hit. And, in fact, Trap was seen on camera shooting the fully, and he actually couldn't handle the fully switch. The gun made his arm go up, kind of. He wasn't actually aiming. He couldn't handle the fucking fully switch. Fuck. Now, one thing you cannot do in the world of coons is shoot a motherfucker with an eyebrow piercing and smiles at the camera like this, because your ass is going to be in shambles. Fuck.
I thought you ain't like me! I thought you ain't like me! Get off my page!
One thing Trap did was hurt the fuck out of Swerve's feelings. Because remember, Swerve was a nice-ass motherfucker who was a skater and who didn't hide who he was. He was embraced. And he embraced Trap. And Trap disrespected him in his own home. And he beat the fuck out of Trap. And Trap came back and shot him the fuck up. The fuck. And that is what a fucking fully switch do to your ass. And like I said before, guys, that honestly broke Swerve's spirits. And Swerve disappeared. And Trap ended up going to jail for that shit along with Vinny. Now, Swerve did not snitch for them to get caught. They were on camera, like I mentioned before. And that's how they got caught, with the license plate and everything. But it's something called victims of a violent crime, if you guys know anything about that. Now, victims of a violent crime, that is a system to where you can call them or show up however the fuck. You can end up getting some money for getting fucked over. But one thing you have to do, guys, is snitch. And that is rumored to what had happened with Swerve. Swerve wasn't giving a fuck about snitching on them. But rumored to be is that he had got offered a lot of money. And he ended up taking that offer and getting away. And now he's, same old Swerve. But Trap ended up getting life. Trap is going to be a barber in prison, cutting the hair of trannies, homosexuals, big buff-ass Kimbo Slice motherfuckers with wigs, and all kind of crazy-ass weird shit for the rest of his fucking life. All because he wants to be a coon. And what's worse is his father, who showed him everything he knew, and basically gave him away out the hood, passed away while he was in jail fighting that case, guys. Talk about karma. Fuck! Trap wasn't a coon. Trap wasn't a killer. He wasn't a drug dealer. He wasn't none of that shit. He was a fucking barber. And in my opinion, Pop brought him out there to cut hair. Just like everyone else was dealing with him, for the most part. And yes, he used to play with the pistol a little bit, but he has never killed nobody. And the attitude he developed is being around killers. But he was just cutting their hair, guys, and he got acquainted with them. They fucked his life over. Or should I say, he allowed them to. Sacramento Gang Archives here. This is the story of Marcus Gray, a.k.a. Trap the Barber, and how he went from a promising barber to shooting a motherfucker that collects snapbacks. And I wouldn't be surprised if they really got into an argument over a fucking snapback. SGA, I'm out.
Yeah.